a big good morning. Yes, right here. We're coming at you with the best and nothing more than the best right here. Shaping your day. And for you, those of you who takes off to sleep, rest well with something good in your spirit. Those of you just getting up, we welcome you right here.
Yes, if we live by your word,
Good afternoon and welcome to Omega Sports Radio. This is the voice of your host for today, Damian the Preacher Hilton. Yeah, my fellow co-host Yashima Love, he won't be in studio today. He'll be traveling with the team to cover the Costa Cup. So we'll be going over to the Costa Cup at some point this afternoon, probably about 3:15 p.m. We'll be going to the Costa Cup. I'll give you the game for the Costa Cup. The Costa Cup in a few. But just want to welcome you back. Great show last week by Ashima. We were able to do some interviews. I heard him talking to young Level, one of our Olympians, who had his first experience at the Olympics, youngster with a bright future. That's the kind of show we plan to have for you, a show that we give exposure to up-and-coming talent while we do our reviews and our previews of major sporting events that are coming up. As I speak, the EPL is on, the English Premier League. I see Manchester United. They are currently playing. Yes, Manchester United. They are playing Crystal Palace. They are currently in the 76th minute, and the score is 0-0. Earlier today, my team, the Pride of London. I don't care what nobody wants to say, London Blue. Yeah, Chelsea. We were able to overcome West Ham by 3-0. I love the way the Chelsea team has been finding their footing under the new coach. Yet, in fact, he's the first coach since 2016 to win his first 3 away games in the Premier League. And so that is good. We also had Aston Villa coming from behind to beat Wolves by 3-1. Fulham were also 3-1 victors over Newcastle United. Southampton and Ipswich Town played out a 1-1 draw. Tottenham beat Brentford by 3-1. Leicester City, they drew with Everton. Everton earning their first point this season. And Liverpool, yes, Liverpool, the Liverpoolians, they defeated Bournemouth by 3-0. So Manchester United in the 77th minute versus Crystal Palace. That game remains at 0-0. The game of the week, though, is the Manchester City versus Arsenal game scheduled for tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. That will be a humdinger. Manchester City versus Arsenal, two of the teams that many people believe will be in the reckoning for the title this season. I think a lot of people, a lot of Arsenal fans, should be very encouraged and should be thinking that Arsenal are due this season. But Manchester City with Pep Guardiola, you never want to write them off. They seem to know how to win in the Premier League. So that is what's going on in the EPL. And just to take a quick look back at our own local Premier League. I mean, the Jamaica Premier League got on the way. The JPL, quite an interesting, some interesting developments in the Jamaica Premier League. We had some good games. Montego Bay United, they looked good. They were able to come out with a win over. I don't know what the name of the team is. I mean, I'm confused. I hear it was Ver Phoenix. Was it? What's the name of the team? Somebody, please let me know because I don't know who is it that Mobe played. What I know is that Craig Butler is currently in charge. I think it's Craig Butler and Lenny Hyde who was running the show down there, and I heard that there are some issues that would have come out of that situation. So much so that the persons in charge of football at the JPL level, those persons are have levied a fine against Mr. Butler. I'm confused about what's really going on and the developments in relation to that. But the JPL has started, and we look forward to the games that are coming up tomorrow. Mount Pleasant will play Waterhouse. Um, is this Tivoli Gardens versus Humble Lion? Racing versus Dunbeholden, Cavalier and Portmore. That would be a nice game. Chapelton against Arnett Gardens. Montego Bay United will go up against Harbour View, and Lions will be up against. I see it's listed here as Is it Jamalco? Yes, Jamalco. That's what I have. Last week, just to give you the results of last week's game, Montego Bay United, I have it listed here as them beating Jamaica. Somebody needs to help me to determine, is the name of the team Jamaica? Mount Pleasant beat Portmore by 2 goals to nil. Arnett Gardens got the better of Dunbeholden by 3 goals to nil. Chapelton Maroons, they are coming back up. They beat Arborview by 2 goals to 1. And Waterhouse with a goal from Atafa Roy Bygrave. That guy has been around. He was at Dunbeholden. He was at Mount Pleasant. He's now applying his trade at Waterhouse, and they beat Racing United by 1 goal to 0. So that's the roundup of the JPL and the EPL. But I just want to say something about what's going on in terms of local football before we take a quick break or before we make some money and come back. Listen, local football has seen a resurgence. And I want to add my own voice to crediting the people responsible. When Chris Williams got involved in football, immediately you saw a business minded approach taken to the marketing and the promotion of local football. You saw branding. You saw an improvement in terms of the overall presentation of the JPL to the public. When you watched games on TV, or even if you went to a game, there was an energy, there was a feel, there was a vibe. And that's what happens when business minds get involved in sports, because sports in 2024 is a business. Now, we are also seeing more and more that the clubs are committing themselves to investing in more young players. Cavaliers have given us a template. They are the prototype of what it means to invest in youth with the hope of these young persons getting exposure to play at the highest level in the world. Whether it is in the EPL or somewhere else, because that's how you're going to grow and build and strengthen local football, by exporting more talent, investing in youth, giving them exposure, them getting the opportunity to play overseas. Hopefully, by the time most of those players get the exposure overseas, they can be now matriculated into the senior team, and they would have already been familiar with the Jamaican culture environment because that's where they're from, and the national program will benefit. So I want to take my hats off to all the people who are involved administratively, the clubs, the officials, the people who run the JPL. You're doing a good job. But that doesn't mean you need to rest on your laurels. There's a lot more work to be done, a lot more investments that need to be made. And I'm going to encourage you to continue to build on the gains that you have already made. We have a guest in studio with me, and I'm not going to waste any time because he's going to be with me today. I just wanted to give my opening salvo on Jamaica's football, but he's going to be with me today, and I'm going to allow him to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about himself so that we can get to know this man, because probably he's going to be with me for some weeks to come. Well, go on, my boss.
Hi, good afternoon. Happy to be here. Marlon Pinnock, a regional commentator as well. A part of the army.
Listen, when the man come in, the man made me scared. But the man was like, going to arrest me. The man looked so like militant coming in. Mr. Pinnock, Mr. Marlon Pinnock, you are involved with cricket. That's your sport. That's your area of expertise.
Yes, I am.
All right, great. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world of cricket in terms of Jamaica and Jamaica's cricket. I know that there are some developments taking place as we speak.
Well, of course, the Jamaica Scorpions playing some child's game to select the Super 50 squad, which gets on the way sometime in October. So 3 child's game played so far. Of course, Klas Brown, he's been outstanding in the competition that the JCA has put on. 8 games, 745 runs.
What?
And guess what? He has a double century, a big 100, and a big half century. So Klas Brown is in immaculate form so far. You look at Gilzine from the army as well, playing his first trials game, I think it was last Tuesday, and getting 100 as well. Javal Glenn, the young players who came through the West Indies under 19 programs. Jordan Johnson, a young Justin Beckford, those players has been introduced into the trials, and that's a plus for Jamaica and the whole in cricket.
Listen, anytime I hear the name Jordan Johnson and Justin Beckford, I get excited. Can you guess why?
Well, they are talented. Maybe that's one.
It goes without saying that you're talented. Jordan Johnson,
Woolmerian
there you go. and Justin Beckford
is, let me have a next check. He's a Woolmerian as well.
Listen, man, that wasn't so hard. Jordan Johnson and Justin Beckford are Woolmerians. They are from my alma mater, Age Quadagis, and they led Woolmers to that under 19 T20 championship
Over St. Elizabeth at Savannah Park.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A wonderful game of cricket, competitive game of cricket, and they have both represented the country before. They've also been a part of the West Indies setup, and so it's good to see them making that transition into senior cricket.
Yes, indeed. Jordan Johnson, who played for the West Indies Academy in the regional 4-day championship a few months ago, gotten starts on numerous occasions, but not been able to carry on and get that 3-figure mark. But he's a very, very talented young cricketer.
Yeah, very talented cricketer. I mean, I've been concerned about the progress he has made because he was with the Jamaican team at the recent under-19 championships. Didn't do so well for somebody who has been playing at a higher level than the average under-19 player regionally. So he doesn't seem to be in a good spot of form.
Yes.
Generally.
I spoke with his dad a few weeks ago. He's also, well, I want to say, an ex-member of the army as well. Spoke with him. He said He's going through a lot, but his cricket is really coming back to fore. He came back from the under 19 and scored a century in the Jamaica Cricket Association limited overs as well. So it's just time. But if you look at the players that played at West Indies under 19 with a Jordan Johnson, they are getting up there. So Jordan Johnson has a young player with a lot of potential, needs to go back to the drawing board. I don't want to say in layman term, but one for the future for Jamaica and West Indies cricket.
Definitely, definitely. You talk about Carlos Brown, and he's obviously in fine form.
Terrific, I would want to say it.
Yeah, prolific is the word. We hope that that translates as well into the actual regional
Well,
tournament.
he scored the most runs in the West Indies regional 4-day championship for Jamaica.
Mhm.
He is the opener. He batted alongside Chadwick Walton as well, the veteran.
Mhm.
But now preparing for a Super 50. It's a total different scenario of cricket.
Yeah. Well, listen, the West Indies is always looking for young talent. I know that they have made a commitment to some players like the Athletes and others, but I think Carlos Brown could break it if he finds himself having an exceptional season this year.
Exactly. You look at his approach to batting. If you're a youngster coming to a Savannah Park, just to see how he approaches innings tells a lot about Carlos Brown. His technique, his timing, his application, very, very good.
Wonderful. Listen, you're going to be here with me throughout the rest of the afternoon. We're going to have a lot to talk about in relation to sports. Just gave my EPL kind of review of the games that have gone and the games that are coming tomorrow. Of course, Arsenal versus Man City is the big game. Spoke about that. The JPL controversy already around Veer Phoenix. I don't even know what the name of the club is, to be honest with you. We need to just anyway. So you're a cricket man, but who's your team in the EPL? Are you even a fan of football? And do you have a team that you're carrying in the EPL or in the JPL?
Well, of course, I'm a fan of football, loves football, but my team is Mount Pleasant out of St. Ann.
Man, you're a Waggas man.
No, I'm from St. Ann.
Oh, okay. All right. I take that back.
Yeah.
I take that. I take that.
But of course, I support every games that I've been playing. I was at the Monday night at Arnett Garden. Sunday, I was in Portmore. Witnessed the game between Portmore and Mount Pleasant.
Okay, interesting. Stush in the Bush is really the original name
Yes, you're right.
of Mount Pleasant. Stush in the Bush. You know what I mean? So they are obviously poised. I mean, we spoke in our first show about Mount Pleasant and just the move away from Coach Theodore Whitmore to Coach Harold Thomas, and then after one game, the move from Harold Thomas to Coach Theodore Whitmore, and then the issue with trying to get their assistant coach back from Portmore United and all of that stuff. So Mount Pleasant, before a ball was even kicked in the JPL, Mount Pleasant was already making big news, right?
You're absolutely correct.
So we look forward to interesting season. I want to talk a little bit. I want to move on a little bit to another sporting discipline, not as popular in our context, but we are hoping there are many people in Jamaica like myself who are avid sports fans across many disciplines. But we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about some NFL. We're gonna talk about American football.
For all your genuine Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Mazda, Suzuki, and Subaru parts, visit Excel Auto Parts, the Auto Parts Hub, located at 95.5 Hagley Park Road. Opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 923-2356-7 and 757-2357. Civil servants, come and take advantage of our 50% discount all year round. Once you visit Excel Auto, you will come back. Excel Auto Parts, your parts hub.
Greetings to you, listeners. This is Reverend Ryan A. Gordon, Senior Pastor of the Broken Vessels Healing and Deliverance Ministries, located at 120 Main Street, Pineapple, Ocheria, St. Anne, Jamaica, West Indies. Join me every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. inside the Kingdom Lifestyle Radio Show with Brother Frisco. Join me for a word in time. You cannot afford to miss this powerful word every Sunday morning on this station.
It's alright.
Welcome back to Omega Sports Saturday. As I said before we went to the break, I'm going to talk about some NFL because not a lot of people in Jamaica are into NFL right now. But if I have my way and if some friends of mine have their way, people like Garvey and G Star who listen and talk about sports almost every day on radio, we would love for more people to get involved in understanding the sport and just enjoying the sports. Shout out to those guys who are listening. Big up on yourself wherever you are. Garvey, G Star, Machiavelli, and people like others who are into the sport. Pine Action, all the way in the United States. All of those guys who love the NFL. Big up on yourself. Now listen. On Thursday night, I saw Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Jets, the New York Jets. I saw Aaron Rodgers in vintage form. Now, you may not know who Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, the man who plays the most important position. He's a four-time league MVP, won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers, has had a bad run in the last few years. But Aaron Rodgers was 27 of 35 attempts, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns. The man had an almost perfect passer rating. It was a beautiful demonstration of quarterback play in the pocket, outside the pocket. And what that tells me is the Jets are positioned. If Aaron Rodgers can be consistent and play within himself, give them some performances like these, avoid turnovers and costly mistakes, and the Jets improve defensively, they will be a problem in the AFC. Now, what is the AFC? The American Football Conference, right? So NFL, just for your sake, it's broken up into 2 conferences. It's the American Football Conference, and then on the other side, it's the National Football Conference, the NFC. In the AFC, you have the great Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. They are the team to beat, right? The Chiefs are actually going to be playing against the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow, if my memory serves me well. And one would expect, right, that they're going to beat the Atlanta Falcons because you're talking about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Man, they have this young talent called Worthy, got lightning speed on the outside. They have a defense with Jones and Chris Jones and others. The Kansas City Chiefs are just loaded. So you expect them to beat the Falcons.
Exactly.
I'm not worried about those regular season games. What I'm thinking about right now is if Aaron Rodgers can be at the peak of his powers, can be vintage Rodgers going into the postseason, if the Jets make it to the postseason, Aaron Rodgers has a defense, a Jets defense. They're not playing as good as we expect them to play as yet. But if that Jets defense finds themselves, and Aaron Rodgers can be vintage Rodgers, they're going to be a problem. Now, a big game coming up tomorrow is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens have started the season 0-2. This is the same team who has last season's league MVP. This is the same team who went to the AFC. Remember, I told you what the AFC is, American Football Conference. They went to the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Lamar Jackson was expected to have a much better season this season. He has lost weight. He looks lighter. He looks quicker. They have added a man when thick like you, big like you, hard for stop. Derrick Henry, one of the premier running backs. They've added that, and they're 0-2, and they're playing against Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys. Who Dallas had some fans, man. Like my friend Ricky Teng. I mean, he's a Dallas fan. He's been hurting for so many years. He's been going through a lot of pain and suffering, probably experiencing trauma, needs counseling intervention, if you understand what I mean. But he's a Dallas fan. And Dallas has flattered to deceive every season. But that game is a big game because if the Ravens lose to Dallas, who got clobbered at home last week by the Saints, New Orleans Saints, if the Ravens lose to Dallas, they'll be 0-3. And if Dallas loses to the Ravens, they go 1-2. They can recover from 1-2, but that will be back-to-back losses. That's going to be pressure on their coach, Mike McCarthy, and that new defensive coordinator. So there's a lot going on in the NFL this weekend. A lot of good things happening in football. But Aaron Rodgers was on display on Thursday night. I mean, I was watching that game, and I was thinking back to that 2010 season when the Packers were just dominant, and Aaron Rodgers was in his heyday, and I saw glimpses of that. A man at 40 years old, and I'm excited about that because Aaron has taken a lot of hits. But we're talking about a lot of other sports. Do you know anything about male netball?
I know a little about netball in general. Of course, I went to the stadium some time ago to witness some male netball. Just as how the females played, no differences there based on what I analyzed.
I don't want to think about male netball in the same way I think about female netball. I don't think it's right to say it's just the same because when you watch females playing sport, man, it's a different thing.
Exactly.
It's just a different thing. But Jamaica's men's netball team, they call themselves the Suns, and they have successfully defended their title at the America's Netball Championships in Basseterre, St. Kitts and Nevis. They went unbeaten in the tournament. That's impressive. They did not lose a game. So they opened the tournament by defeating England 30-27. And then they went on to beat a number of other teams. They beat Grenada. They beat St. Kitts and Nevis. What was the game that drew my attention? They beat the United States by a staggering scoreline of 109-10.
Whoa, magnificent!
I mean, in a netball game, I can't recall whether in female netball or otherwise. I've never seen a 100 plus score in a netball game before.
Totally outplayed them.
That's an understatement.
Oh my!
Outplay. I mean, what were the United States doing?
Whoa, 10.
109-10.
99 difference.
I don't understand how that works. I think the people who coach the United States of America and the people who played for the United States should get some kind of sanction for this kind of performance at this level. It's ridiculous. They also beat Antigua and Barbuda 83-14. 83-14. These are some massive scores. But long and short of it is the Suns, and that's short for the Sun. I mean, the female team is called the Sunshine Girls. Yeah. So the male team is called the Suns, and they are the regional champions. Now, a lot of people wouldn't know this, but the sport male netball is actually one of those recognized sports in the Commonwealth. It's a Commonwealth sport, just like female netball is a Commonwealth sport. And I think Australia and New Zealand are the top two teams.
Yeah,
just like on the female side of it. All right. So we're seeing a lot of development in sports taking place. This is netball, and we're seeing something else that is really fascinating. It's in the papers today. It's news that the Trelawney Multi-Purpose Stadium is actually going to be used to host some of the Costa Cup games.
And that's good for the country on a whole.
Yeah,
Trelawney, a field that has been abandoned for some time now,
yeah,
been released.
yeah. I'm happy to see that. And in fact, I mean, there's a conversation to be had as we talk about sports development, because there we just saw what's happening with male netball, which is an interesting thing. And I hope to have somebody come in at some point to talk to us in the future about male netball and about what's going on with that sport and its development. But when you talk about sports development, you have to talk about the facilities. We have to have facilities that allow for the sports, the various sporting disciplines to be developed. And here's a facility that has been a white elephant for the most part. What's your take on it? You're a cricket man. What's your take on the infrastructure that is there or not there to support the development of sports?
Well, first and foremost, it's it's a stadium that was built for cricket.
Mm.
And then over the years, a little senior cup cricket may play. Then for years after years, no sports. It's been abundant. And now getting that opportunity now, the number one sports, what we'll say, in Jamaica, when it comes on to football, that's where the crowd turn out to support a schoolboy football or a JPL.
Mhm.
So that should be a plus for Trelawney and for Jamaica on a whole when it comes on to football being issued back to Trelawney.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I'm happy to see this development taking place, and I want to give kudos to the municipal corporation in Trelawney who have responsibility and oversight for this facility, and also for ISA and whatever role, uh, obviously, they would have played to kind of broker this engagement to get this field in use. We're going to be having a double header. So Spot Valley High will be playing Mushet High at 1:15, and that game obviously has started already. And William Nib Memorial High will be going up against Cedric Titus at 3:30 p.m. So we're really making some strides, but there's a lot more that needs to be done. There's a lot more that needs to be done in terms of sporting facilities and maintaining facilities and using facilities to ensure that young people, clubs, people who want to be involved in sports have a place that they can go and own their talent. If you don't have the facilities, you're disenfranchising a lot of people. We have to take a break now. We're gonna go over to the Caymanas Park for the Sport of Kings horse racing.
It's now time for live racing from Caymanas Park, sponsored by Azon, the superstore for your home and more. Edgechem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Victoria Mutual Money Transfer Services, real money transfer for real people. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
Welcome back to Caymanas Park. We're here for race number 3. Horses are loaded, almost all in. 85 Lion of Ficati, 9-5. 6th Avenue, 2-1. He's a Lion, 5-2. Silent Cat. They are the market leaders. My selection is number 2, Silent Cat. Dr. Polite selection is number 4. He's a Lion. Make it 2, 6, 7, and 4. My order of preference. Silent Cat over 6th Avenue. Lion of Ficati, and He's a Lion. Lion of Ficati looked quite well. Let's see how well he'll perform. The last round to enter is number 5, In the Blood. In the Blood goes in. 7,000 remounts. We have a lineup for the third. Here's Brian Riconodi.
This is the third of 9. Starter ready. And they're off. Last hurrah just misses it. Left at the back of the field. Anna Vicati gets a good start. Purposely is also running quickly along with Silent Cat. And it is He's a Lion who bursts through the pack to get that lead from Purposely. 6th Avenue close up in third. Anna Vicati the favorite on the outside, forming the line of 4. Silent Cat has faded back a bit. In the Blood race is next, second to last. And last of all, it's a last hurrah as they leave the 5/8 pole behind them. Fairly tight up front, with Lion Vicati now moving through to get a narrow lead. He's a Lion hugging the rail. 6th Avenue right on the tail end of those. Purposely is a further 2 or 3 lengths back as they bounce past the half-mile marker. A gap opens up to Silent Cat fading. In the Blood is next, and Last Hurrah remains at the back. They're arriving at the final 3/8 of a mile, and the favorite Lion of Ecati, the rider, peeping between his legs. They enjoy a 3-length advantage. He's a Lion is chasing down. 6th Avenue on the outside now, shaken up and last to go. But it's a Lion of Ecati turning for home with that lead, stepping off the rail. He's a Lion, gets a perfect rail run. 6th Avenue racing further back, swerving a bit as if drunk, but it's a Lion of Ecati who holds the lead up front, angling down toward the fence. Lion of Ecati in charge under the right-hand stick, and has opened up a huge gap inside the final furlong. It is all a Lion of Ecati and Aaron Chatter beginning to bounce away from them. They're inside the final 16, and Lion of Ecati will come roaring home to win easily in the end by double digits. Lion of Ecati clear. 6th Avenue backing He's a Lion. 6th Avenue just gets the second over He's a Lion. Then Silent Cat, Last Hurrah, comes in fifth.
So no problems there for the down in class Lion of Ecati. Turn the 4-form around. Makes most of the running Aaron Chanturan for Winston Morris and owner Delroy McClarty. Lion of Ecati roars home to victory in the third. Second was number 6, 6th Avenue. Third, number 4, He's a Lion. Fourth, number 2, Silent Cat. Results of race 2. The winner, number 3, Unbelievable Force. A 3 will not be a brown filled by McCracken out of the Cat Thief Dam Debitor Credit. Bred White Fox Farm. Own ACK Stables Train Philipiano D. Ridden. The Sneaky Fox Radish Roman, the groom Milton McDonald. Unbelievable Force returned $178 to win. Second was number 1, Firecracker. Third, number 2, She's a God Gift. Fourth, number 5, Goodbye Firefly. The exact return, 338. Trifecta 586, double 1,828. Final time for 1500 meters, 133.3. Splits 23.3, 46.2, 112.3. The margins were 4 3/4 by 3/4. Final prices in race number 3, the winner number 7, Lion of Ecati. Won very easily too, going off at odds of, that appears to be 9-5, is it? Coming up on the monitor in just another second. 9-5 the price there for Lion of Ecati. 6th Avenue second, 8-5. He's a Lion third, 5-2. Silent Cat fourth, also at 5-2. Next event will be the 4th. 7 declared to go posters. They go 1400 meters or 7 furlongs. Are restricted around 500 bred foals and not nuns of 2, and importees foals and not maidens. 2 and at 6, minimum guaranteed payout 3.5 billion starts here in the 4th. My selection, number 5, Waterman John. Dr. Paulette also goes for Waterman John. Until it's time for race 4, it's back to the studios.
Live racing from Caymanas Park was sponsored by Azon, the superstore for your home and more. Edgechem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Victoria Mutual Money Transfer Services, real money transfer for real people. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
For all your genuine Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Mazda, Suzuki, and Subaru parts, visit Excel Auto Parts, the Auto Parts Hub, located at 95.5 Hagley Park Road. Opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 923-2356-7 and 757-2357. Civil servants come and take advantage of our 50% discount all year round. Once you visit Excel Auto, you will come back. Excel Auto Parts, your parts hub.
Paul, I need help with my vehicle cost this year. It's going through the roof. You think I should call Keith?
You're mad. Don't you want a system that easy for you?
Yeah, man.
You want the best price boat here too?
Yeah, man. I bet you want real-time alert and island-wide coverage. Yeah, man. So the smart choice is Hawkeye.
They will give you a free 30-day trial.
Yeah, man.
Hey, tell me something. You ever say anything but yeah, man?
Yeah, man.
Just say yeah, man to Hawk Tracker from Hawkeye. Call us at 926 Hawk. Conditions apply.
It hurts if you don't check first. The excellent customer service, our staff is knowledgeable and trustworthy. And we have a wide variety to supply society, and the price is right, yes, it's worth it. The solution to your auto parts needs to one-stop shop, and we deliver to. So if you can't come in, just link with our WhatsApp or call and make your order. And remember, there's no other. So it hurts if you don't check first. So there's no need to say. It hurts if you don't check first.
It is your right to know what you want. Information at your fingertips. It's for the man in the streets, for those in business, information for everybody. No asset, so you can use it to develop your community. Your right to know information at your fingertips.
A message from the Access to Information Unit.
Welcome back.
Yeah, man. Welcome back to Omega Sports Radio 89.9 on your FM dial. Happy to have you with us. Just want to let people know that they can, they can engage the show. You can call in, not now. You take calls in the last half an hour of the show or so. So you can call in at 876-676-6968. That's 876-676-6968. Or you can send us a WhatsApp message at 828-0925. We'll take your WhatsApp message and we will read. And if it's something that requires some kind of deep discussion, we will get into it. We will allow time for it. So feel free to send us a message. And when the time is right for you to call, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We were talking about development earlier. We were talking about, making sure that we have the facilities and, invest in the infrastructure so that we can, develop players. And you were making a point during the break about a particular football player who you're impressed with.
Yeah, Kaim Dixon. Dixon.
Yes.
Was played for Clarendon College.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the Costa Cup, and then made his entry to Premier League as Jamaica Premier League.
Yeah.
And represent Arnett Gardens. Did well last season, and then Charlton Athletic.
Yeah.
He signed a contract with them and also scored on debut as well. Terrific effort from the young man.
Yeah. I mean, Kaim Dixon has really had a meteoric rise to senior football, coming from as you said, the Costa Cup, and as you pointed out, he was on the score sheet in his Charlton Athletic under 21 debut. So he's playing for the under 21 team, even though he signed to Charlton. He's a part of the Charlton setup. Charlton Athletic had a 3-2 win over Watford on Friday, yesterday, and he had a goal and an assist. So that's a really good look.
Excellent start.
You can't ask for more than that. We're still wondering, what's happening with Dujan Whisper Richards. I mean, we heard that he had some injury that may have required some kind of surgery. Hoping for the best for the young man, because he's super talented. He's one of the super talented youngsters coming out of the country. In the Chelsea setup, Chelsea under 21. So we have two youngsters who played Manning Cup and the Costa Cup and transitioned into EPL teams. Well, Charlton is not EPL. Charlton is like 2 divisions down from the EPL. But it's a good place to start. Yeah. It's a very good place to start. So I'm happy that you're talking about that. We don't always, I think, appreciate the importance of early exposure for young talent to sports. Now, I played schoolboy football. I played Manning Cup football, and I think that exposure to competitive football that you get when you play Manning Cup or the Costa Cup, you need much more of that in an ongoing way for youngsters if they're going to actually transition. We don't want to have a conversation about the exceptions, because Kaim Dixon and Dujan Richards are the exceptions. They're exceptional
in their capacity.
But we don't want them to be the exceptions.
True.
Right? There are a lot more youngsters that are in Jamaica, and from an early age, we need to provide them with the exposure. We need to provide them with the opportunities. Unfortunately, schoolboy football is the biggest platform for them, even though we hear that they're now being allowed to play in the Jamaica Premier League.
Yes, quite a few of those players merge through the Costa Cup and Manning Cup and gets into Premier League team.
Yeah, there is this rule though, and I would love to get your thoughts on it. There is this rule. that if you play the Costa Cup or Manning Cup, and then you go to play for your Premier League team, you're a part of a Premier League setup and you play, you have to sit out 6 days after pass. 6 days after pass before you can go back and play Manning Cup.
Well, I'm just not happy with that as a situation in football where players love football. You play a JPL, you come back to your school, have a game to play, and you can't play because you just play a Premier League. That's not something I really like for a youngster.
Yeah, I don't think the average youngster would like it for himself. But I think the thinking behind it is that you have to give these kids time to recover. That you really don't want to be overworking them. And there has to be some kind of balance.
You have to manage their own body as well.
Exactly. You have to do that. I mean, it comes down to the relationship that the club and the school, the coach at the school would have. You know, I mean, if it's a game in the season that you think the player could sit out a Manning Cup game, you're playing against a lesser opponent, and you say, we won't need a player for this game. You know what I mean? Make him go and go play. I mean, talking about that though, there are some big Manning Cup games actually coming up today. Some top of the table clashes. Campion College, they will host Kingston College in a top of the table clash in Zone C today. Campion has been doing over the past few years. I have a friend called G Star. When he was going to Campion, they weren't doing so good. They weren't doing good at anything.
None.
But now Campion is making a name for themselves in Manning Cup. They actually made some noise last season and did well as well in the under 16 competition, and have been quite competitive in the Manning Cup. So far, they will be going up against Kingston College, a perennial contender, today in a top of the table clash. That's a game that I think a lot of people would probably enjoy going to watch. In fact, let me just let listeners know that in that zone C, Kingston College, they are on 7 points from 3 games. Campion College are on 7 points from 3 games, and Penwood High are also on 7 points.
It's good to see those schools coming through as well.
Penwood, yeah, Penwood High. I mean,
community must be excited to see them.
I can imagine. So that is very good. That's a good look for the Penwood High fans and the alumni of Penwood High School. They have started the Manning Cup season very well. There is also another nice game coming up in the Manning Cup today. The defending champions Mona High, they'll be going up against a team that you never write off, Charlie Smith. So Mona will be going up against Charlie Smith. That is a Group B contest. Mona, from 3 games, they have a 100% win record. They're on 9 points. Charlie Smith has played 2 games and they haven't lost a game. Now, Charlie Smith have scored 18 goals and have not conceded.
Whoa! So the defense line is excellent.
Well, I mean, if you just go by the numbers, if you just go by the stats, then you can say that. But it depends on who they've played. Mona have played 3 games. They have scored 16 goals and they have just conceded once. That was a goal that they conceded in, I think, their opening game of the season. So this should be a very interesting encounter as well between Mona and Charlie Smith. And there is also another game of interest. I think a game that could provide a lot of excitement. It's a Zone G encounter between St. George's College and St. Catherine High School. St. Catherine High School in the last few seasons have really come on and made a lot of noise.
Yes, of course, both in cricket and football.
Yeah, they have a good sports program. I think I'm also seeing them do a lot of good things at championships.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, so whoever is in charge of the sports programs down at St. Catherine High School, big up on yourself. When I go on with yourself. So St. George's College and St. Catherine High School, They will be going head to head at 3:30 p.m. this afternoon. Should be a very interesting encounter. St. Catherine have played 2 games and they are undefeated. They have scored 7 goals. They have not conceded any. And on the other side, St. George's College have played in 3 games, won all 3, and they have scored 19 goals.
Wow. A lot of goals there.
A lot of goals being scored in Mining Cup. There are some teams that are really conceding a lot in the early parts of the season. And I mean, usually you will see the cream rise to the top in the Manning and the Costa Cup. So these teams are the teams that you're expecting.
St. George's, remember with a Marshall playing for St. George's, it was just awesome to go to watch the games at Savannah Park.
Yeah,
Alex Marshall.
Yeah, I recall Jamaica College playing against St. George's College in a Flow Champions Cup, I think. Yeah, and that was the first time in a long time that we saw a full national stadium for a schoolboy football encounter. It was an amazing spectacle.
Well, that's the top sports or the top league being played here in Jamaica when it comes on to football. If you're walking through a Sabina Park when cricket is playing, you can walk through in and out. But when a football is playing at Sabina Park, you just have to stay one place. But Alex Marshall, who was at Portmore last season, now being played at Mount Pleasant this season.
Yeah, I wondered about that move to Mount Pleasant. I mean, I don't know. I guess there have been a lot of movements.
A whole lot
in the JPL. I know Alex Marshall is that kind of creative midfielder, that can, pick a team open. He dribbles
pass, excellent.
Passing is good. He was with Cavaliers for a while. He went to play in Canada, came back, was with Portmore. I actually liked him in that Portmore team.
He was a player for me in that Portmore team.
Yeah.
With Marshall out now, it's going to be difficult for them. I had a watch at the game against Mount Pleasant over in Portmore. They were just outplayed by Mount Pleasant.
No, that game had a lot more to do with, it was a bigger game than football. All right. Before the start of the season, there was a fight over David Ferguson, the coach, to get him back to Mount Pleasant after he had signed a contract with Portmore. You lose Alex Marshall to Mount Pleasant, and you're playing against them in your first game of the season. It's kind of like a lot going on in that game. But Mount Pleasant thoroughly outplayed.
Yes, they did, and it's good to see Bygrave getting some games now.
He's at Waterhouse.
Waterhouse scored. I think he scored Monday.
Yeah,
Monday night, a 1-0 win over the Rising team.
Okay, well, listen, we're gonna have an interview not too long from now. We're supposed to be having Coach Bigger Thomas, coach of that team, Chapelton Maroons, who won their first game of the new JPL season, beating the Arborview team. A man who has come through the Manning Cup himself. He spent time at Bridgeport High School, came through, went, overseas to play football, applied his trade in the UK for a while, was a part of Jamaica's national setup, did some coaching at Humble Lion, and is now the head coach of the Chapelton Maroon team. So
he was also a player who plays for Arnett Garden.
Listen,
and he was a real fighter in the defense line.
O'Neal Thomas, don't play with the man.
Bigger.
The man they're normal around back there. So we're supposed to be joining him soon. So as we continue to just do our quick look at what's going on in the world of sports, just to update the Manchester United fans who perhaps never had the opportunity to watch the game, your team, Manchester United, played out a 0-0 draw with Crystal Palace. And so Manchester United continue to show you that they really are not a team to take seriously in this season of the Premier League. They've played 5 games and they're currently on 7 points. I'm just messing with the Man U fans. Man U is always gonna find a way to compete. But I just think that they are lacking some quality in some critical areas. My team, Chelsea Football Club, it looks like Mr. Jackson has actually figured out how to score goals. So I'm happy to say that we are actually winning some games and scoring some goals. Last season, a lot of these chances that we are scoring this season, we were just, muffing them. So Manchester United nil, Crystal Palace nil. One also touch before we get to our interview. Hopefully, we'll get Coach Thompson online soon. But I want to also touch a little bit on what's going on over there in La Liga. I know for most of us it's the English Premier League, right? But La Liga is also a competition that many of us became very fascinated with. Some people because of Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo and the rivalry between Barcelona and Real Madrid. But over in La Liga, Barcelona sit atop the standings with 15 points, 5 games undefeated so far. Atletico Madrid follow on 11, and Real Madrid are also on 11 points. In fact, Barcelona, they play tomorrow. They play Villarreal tomorrow. And in terms of some games that are also up in the upcoming week in La Liga, I think Atletico Madrid will be playing against Rio Valencano. They will be up against Rio Valencano. Real Madrid, though. Real Madrid. They added Kylian Mbappe to their team. They they are the La Liga champions. They won the Champions. They have Kylian Mbappe. Shouldn't we be expecting Real Madrid to kind of just steamroll the Spanish league this season?
I think they will take everything this season.
You think Real Madrid is going to take everything?
Yes, they do.
Why you say that?
With the team they have and with Mbappe, that's a plus for them. His speed could be enormous for them.
Well, today they go up against Espanyol, and it's going to be interesting to see how Real Madrid. Listen, I've often said that when a team is filled with talent, stars, big name players, it comes down to the ability of a coach to be able to harness that talent. And if there's anybody who I believe can harness talent, it is none other than Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti perhaps is outside of Pep Guardiola, who has obviously done extremely well with Barcelona and has now been winning with Manchester City. But if you look at Carlo Ancelotti and you look at what he has been able to do in the Champions League with talent, he's probably the best manager in terms of his achievements with exceptional talent. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he finds a way to harness all that he has. And as you say, they actually win a trophy. I would not be surprised because I think Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe, some of the other talent that they have that youngster from Brazil, right? They should anything other than 2 titles this season
Underachieved.
would have been an underachievement.
Yes, indeed.
A total underachievement. So we're looking forward to see what Real Madrid will do with all the stars that have been aligned for them. I don't know if we have Coach Thompson yet. We're gonna wait to join him soon, but I want to move a little bit away from football before we get to Coach Thompson. And I want to talk something about the money that is involved in sports. Money. Because as I said to you, sports is a business. Right? Have you ever heard the name Shohei Ohtani?
I think I heard it once.
Yeah, where you heard the name?
I think I heard. I think I heard it on baseball.
Ah, you see, I like you. You need to be in studio more because we don't just come talk about football and cricket and everything. We talk about sports, like any sport and every sport. Now, for those who don't know, Shohei Otani is a Los Angeles Dodgers player. He's one of the few two-way superstars that, you know, play the sport of baseball. And last year, he signed a 10-year, $700 million deal.
Oh, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yes, sir. 10-year, $700 million. Now, some people, I mean, I'm a Dodger fan, and when I heard it, I was like, man, that's too much. That is too much.
That's a lot.
I mean, I don't know. He's a great talent. He's an amazing, player, two-way player, but that's too much. You know what? You know what? Shuhei Otani did recently. He set a major league record by homering and stealing a base for the 14th time in the same game. That is a new record. He has 50. He has 52 homers and 52 stolen base, breaking a previous record of 13 games set by Ricky Henderson in 1986 with the New York Yankees. So if I thought that 100, that big contract that he had, if I thought that $700 million over 10 years was too much money, and because of my little myopic view and my limited understanding of how these things work, I can sit where I am at in Kingston, Jamaica, and say, Lord, man, no, sir, too much money that. Well, Mr. Otani,
700 million.
Mr. Otani
Whoa.
is showing me and showing those who had questions that, listen, I am probably the best player playing right now in Major League Baseball. And maybe there is an argument. Maybe there is an argument to be made as to whether or not Mr. Otani is one of the best I've ever done it.
Based on what we have seen, no.
Yeah.
It goes to show that if he's not the best, he's clearly one of the best that plays Major League Baseball.
Listen, it is an amazing thing. I mean, I know again that there are not a lot of Major League Baseball fans in Jamaica, but we're not having a show just to please the people who are in Jamaica who love netball and cricket and football. We're having a show that discusses sports because we have a diaspora listening. We have people listening from all over the place, and we want people to become more of it with what's going on in the business of sports. This is a major investment by the Dodgers. They obviously are committed to strengthening the brand, the Dodgers brand, but also to winning, right? And he gives them, with his play, with his level up, he gives them a great chance to be in the reckoning for the Major League Baseball championships this year. So I'm actually looking forward to the MLB playoffs. I mean, the playoffs, the wild cards start, I think, in the first week of October. So we're not far away from the playoffs in Major League Baseball. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I mean, the Dodgers, just to give the listeners a sense of what's going on, the Dodgers, they play in the National League. They are in the National League West, and the Dodgers have won 92 games. They've lost 62. They sit atop the NL West. So they're definitely one of the teams that will be in the playoffs. So you can look forward to that. Many people probably would be familiar with the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees. Yankees are a big brand in Major League Baseball. The Yankees, they are top of the American League East. They play in the American League. So in American sports, generally, you usually have two leagues in one sport. Just like I said in the NFL, right? You have the American Football Conference, and then on the other side, you have the National Football Conference. And then they break that up into different divisions. And in baseball, similarly, you have the American League, on one side, and you have the National League on the other side, and then you have the Eastern, the Central, the West, and so on and so forth. That's American sports. That's the way Americans do it, and they have a draft system that feeds teams from the college, players from college into professional sports. So that's the way it is. But listen, this Otani guy, amazing talent, one to look out for. If you've never heard about him before, go do your research. That's why you're listening to the show today, because we come to educate, inform, and engage. So please go and check that out. Major League Baseball, Shohei Otani, special player, rich man as well.
Very rich indeed. $700 million.
Yes, sir.
Oh
Over
gosh.
10 years. I'll just take 1 million a year. That work for me. All right. I don't know if we have our guest on the line as yet. Apparently, our guest is not here. So we're going to just continue to kind of delve a little bit further into something that you were talking to us about. You want to break down for us what exactly is going to happen in terms of the trials for the Super 50 tournament, and then what? So after the trials, then what?
Well, a new coach has been set to take up his job the 1st of October. Andrew Richardson was the head coach, but his contract will finish the end of September. And Nikita Miller was also the assistant coach. So it's a rebuilding now in terms of the selectors. So after, I think it's about 2 or 3 more trials games left to be played, then they will select some players coming back from overseas as well. Jermaine Blackwood was played at the test level before. A young Pete, someone who has dominated regional cricket last year for the Scorpions, picking up the most wickets for the Scorpions. He's in the training trials as yet. He should be returning to Jamaica sometime this week.
What about Bonner?
Well, Bonner is there. I saw him. He came not out the last game, played his first trials game. But you look at a Bonner who has played at the test level, should be about 35 now. He was out with some injured in the regional 4D championship. But as we mentioned, there's some young players who's coming through. You look at the fast bowling aspect in the trials as well. McCarthy, who has made his first class debut in the regional 4D championship at Sabina Park at home against the Red Force. Andre Dennis, who picked up a 5-wicket haul in the trials, the only bowler. And you have a young leg spinner who came back with the under-19 team, who had a fantastic under-19 tournament in young Redwood. He's in the trials as well, picked up a 5-wicket haul as well. So that's a plus to see the youngsters coming through and getting seen at trials. And that is what you want to see in the country.
Definitely. That is a big thing. What about my Mr. John Campbell?
Well, John Campbell will be back as well. Excellent. He will be back.
Yeah.
So when you look at the chemistry of the trials now, with a John Campbell coming in, a Carlos Brown in a form of his life, Gilzine, who's another opener who has scored a century last Tuesday in the trials game. If a Blackwood, a Bonner, a young Jordan Johnson. So you look at the batting aspect, a lot of batting to choose from, as well as the bowling aspect. There are a lot of fast bowlers. Even, I think, a young fast bowler in Walcott who plays for Police. He's doing well. As I mentioned, Andre Dennis, Andre McCarthy, and Marquino Millie, who has the most wicket for the Scorpions, who has played at the test level before. Didn't bowl much.
Right.
So when it comes on to Nicholson Garden as well, been in and out, but he's a next player who has played even Caribbean Premier League CPL. So a lot of players to choose from. It's going to be headache for the selectors.
Yes.
But I hope and trust they comes up with a good team to represent Jamaica in the Super 50.
How come you're not?
Well, of course, it's been some time now. It's over 2 years since I've played youth cricket at under 15 level. But I take up the coaching mantle at the Army as the assistant coach to Dennis Bolai. So that's where the cricket is.
All right, sir. I hear you. I'm gonna have to dig a little bit deeper into your background in the cricket. But we have our guest online. We have the Chapelton Maroons coach, the man, Mr. O'Neill Bigger Thomas. Coach.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Enough respect, my boss.
Yeah, man. That's it, you know.
Yeah, man. You're here with me, Damian the Preacher Hilton, and my co-host
Marlon Pinnock.
Yeah, Marlon is a cricket man still, but he loved the football. Him say actually the last game he was standing not too far away from him. Say.
Not at all. I was very close to you.
We used to knock the cricket because when I grew up at Boys Town, it's an institution where provide the platform for various, sports, and I used to be very good at cricket. Some people think I'm a better cricketer than baller.
Well, coach, one thing for sure, you have the height of a fast bowler.
Yes, you do.
Proper pace bowler.
Yeah.
Well, coach, I mean, listen, it's a joy to have you on the program. Congratulations as well on your win against Harborview in your first game as head coach of the Chapelton Maroons. What's going on down in Chapelton? I mean, how things looking down there? What's the setup like?
I mean, they have a great setup in terms of infrastructure, and we have some youngsters who really want to show that in the rural side of the country they also have talent, and we just want to create a name in Chapelton, not just because of that, but because of football. And we want to give a platform to allow young talents to showcase themselves and feel free to do so. So, I mean, I think in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the direction that we are trying to create, is the right path, and it's only can get better because there's always room for improvement.
Great. That's good to hear. You have obviously a feeding tree, some people would call it, through Clarendon College. I mean, that seems like a natural link. Do you have any schoolboy players who are in your squad?
They had a few from Glenmore last season, the tier 2. We're still finding our way around the club. As you state, there's a lot of schools that in that parish. You have the Glenmore, you have the Clarendon College, you have a lot. But for some time, the talent was always going away, as I had that experience while I was at Humble Lion. But as I said, once you create a platform which allow these youngsters to play and the freedom to make mistakes, then it will be encouraging for a lot of youngsters to come this way. Not a lot of clubs have the privilege to try with youngsters and allow them to fail, because you have a lot of clubs who want to stay in the big league. And sometimes you have to allow these youngsters to fail and fail again before they are ready for what they are ready for. And sometimes it costs you being relegated. But if you are going something, you have to be able to take the risk. And I have proudly seen Cavaliers have done so. I've seen Portmore United have done so. And now they have some youngster which is performing at high level because they have the freedom to do so, and they understand the bitter part of the game at a young age. And you have to create a platform like that which allow the freedom of these schoolboys to be attracted to what you want the club to become.
Coach, I want you to hold that thought. We're going to take a quick run over to Cayman Park. We're going to, go to the Sport of Kings, and we'll return in a minute.
It's now time for live racing from Caymanas Park, sponsored by Azon, the superstore for your home and more. Edgechem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Victoria Mutual Money Transfer Services, real money transfer for real people. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
Welcome back to Kevin Park. We're here for race 4. Horses all in line. Your favorite 3 to 5 is number 5. Waterman John, 5 to 2 for numbers 4 and 3. Money Box and Sir Wang Don. Kevin Burnside has a call of the 4th.
They're off on racing. Casual Treasure steps a bit slowly along with Power of Her Highness as they make their way coming to the 6 furlong point, and Storm Boy has an early lead. Storm Boy with that lead from Warhorse Racing in second. Then comes Sir Wang Don Racing in third. Casual Treasure recovering and going down into fourth, just ahead of Waterman John. Out wide and coming around that is Power of Her Highness, and just at the back of the field, that's Money Box. They head toward the 4, and it is on that lead, Sir Wang Don on the outside, right there to that Storm Boy. So Storm Boy and Sir Wang Don share the lead. Sir Wang Don narrowly in front of Storm Boy. These are about 3 lengths in front of Casual Treasure going down into third. Money Box recovering and coming down into fourth. Then comes Waterman John right against the rail. Power of Her Highness, and now relegated to last. That's Warhorse there at the top of the lane. And Sir Wang Don says, catch me if you can, about 3. Now 4 lengths in front and really traveling nicely. It's Sir Wang Don in front, coming to the off of the furlong pole with a good-looking lead. Sir Wang Don in front, Casual Treasure chasing along with Money Box right against the rail, and also coming on, that's Waterman John, but it is making the running. Sir Wang Don is in front and looks to be on a runaway this afternoon. Sir Wang Don sprinting clear. Sir Wang Don is home and dry. Sir Wang Don and Shane Richardson, the informed Shane Richardson, getting the job done. Getting cut tight for second. It could be Money Box just ahead of Casual Treasure. Then comes Waterman John back and forth.
So number 3, Sir Wang Don gets the win, convincing the 2. Shane Richardson riding for Alfred Brown Owner Trader. Sir Wang Don well out in front. Runner-up, Money Box, number 4. Then came number 1, Casual Peach. And 5, Waterman John finishes a disappointing 4th. Results of race number 3. The winner, number 7, Lion of Ikati. A 5-year-old dark bear brown gelded by a tail of the Ikati out of the Indian Charlie Dam, Indian Conduct. Brennan USA, Owen Delroy, McClarty trained Winston Morris, ridden Aaron Church with the groom Michael Campbell. Lion of Ikati returned 294 to win, 105 to place. Second went to number 6, 6th Avenue, 105. Third, number 4, He's the Lion, 108. Fourth, number 2, Silent Cat. The exacta 577. Trifecta 458. Double event 1018. Triples 6105. Final time for 1400 meters 132 flat. Splits 24-3. 49-2. The margins were a resounding 16 1/4 by a half. Final prices in the 4th. The winner Sir Wang Don 5-2. Runner-up Money Box also 5-2. Casual Treasure 3rd 32-1. Waterman John 4th 3-5. Next event will be the 5th. Scratch number 9, Pope's Lady. We're down to a field of 8. My selection now, number 5, Zulu Warrior. And this is Dr. Paul. That's Cook Food Special as well. Until it's time for race 5, it's back to zeros.
Live racing from Caymanas Park was sponsored by Azon, the superstore for your home and more. Edgechem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Victoria Mutual Money Transfer Services, real money transfer for real people. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
Your taxes hold the key.
Need to pay your property tax, motor vehicle certificate of fitness fee, or a traffic ticket? No need to join the line. Go online. Service at your fingertips 24/7. That's right. All these services and more are available online at jamaicatax.gov.jm. Fast, convenient, secure. Visit the How To tab on our website or call 888 Tax Help for details. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
The Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission JADCO needs your help to eliminate doping and keep sport clean. If you have concerns about any doping activity, you can share the information with JADCO anonymously. The information you share will be treated with the highest level of confidentiality. Make the right call if you see something, say something. Protect clean sport. Protect our legacy. To report doping activity, call 888-429-5232 or visit the JADCO website at jadco.gov.jm. A message from the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission.
It hurts if you don't check earth. Be excellent customer service. Our staff is knowledgeable and trustworthy. And we have a wide variety to supply society. And the price is right, yes, it's worth it. The solution to your auto parts needs to one-stop shop. And we deliver to, so if you can't come in, just link with my WhatsApp. Or call and make your order. And remember, there's no other. So it hurts if you don't check earth. So there's no need to say. It hurts if you don't check earth.
Drive your dream car when you access a Dream Wheels auto loan from the Manchester Cooperative Credit Union. With amazing rates, 100% financing, up to 10 years to repay, and quick approval time, your auto loan is just a phone call away. Conditions apply. Or 43648, or visit our offices in Mandeville and Christiana for further details. Manchester Cooperative Credit Union, where service exceeds expectation.
Welcome back to Omega Saturday Sports Show. All right, we have Coach O'Neill Bigger Thompson on the line, and Coach, back over to you. And my co-host have a question for you.
Yeah, Bigger Thompson, Deacon, that player who you brought from Arnett Gardens to your club, is doing an outstanding job in the middle of the park. His movement and his skills on the field to present some passes. Tell us about this young man in Deacon.
I mean, he becomes a known menace in the league for a while. He have had a stint when I was at Arnett as captain, so I know exactly his strength and where his weakness lies. And we just allow him the freedom to play to his strength and obviously create a system which can protect him in transition in defense. And just not interfering with the front of the game, because I mean, when you can coach defense, I mean, in terms of skill, when you start to reduce the type of things they will do to make you effective, I mean, you cannot it's like you interfere with nature itself. So we have to just allow them to express themselves the best way which fits and suits the team, and I think he's doing that extremely well.
Yeah, the Mari Deacon, I mean, he had a little stint at Mount Pleasant as well. Never fared off so well for him. So it's good to see him in the Chapelton setup. You talk about your time at Arnett Gardens, Coach, when you were the captain. Listen, a whole heap of people don't even understand your journey as a footballer. Give us a summary of that journey from your times in Manning Cup as a Manning Cupper straight through. We know you applied your trade in the UK for a while, and then you came back home. You were in the national setup. Talk to us a little bit about your own journey.
I mean, it's a very long journey which is still on today, but it started out at Boys Town, as I said again earlier when you mentioned about the cricket and stuff. I mean, that's the foundation, and we left from Boys Town. I went to Veer for 1 year. Not a lot of people know that, but my parents couldn't afford to give us bus fare to go to school and back on a daily basis. So that's when I left and I went to Bridgeport. And after I went to Bridgeport, Mr. Patrick Pitts on display the other night for racing was my coach at Bridgeport. And, everything has started there. We have won the Manning Cup, the first team in St. Catherine to do so. We have won the Walker Cup. Sadly, last day, Oliver Shield to Cornwall College. And after move on from that, I had a stint at Boys Town where we have won the Super League and qualified for the Premier League. Before I move on to Norway, we have won the Jackie Bell in the same season. After that, I moved to Norway in 2007. Then from Norway to England in 2009, where I signed for Barnsley. Then I got a loan from Barnsley to Airford United. I played for Burton and Albion. At the same time, then got injured. Things was working out in the last phase. Make no excuse for that. So I came back home with the intention of going to Turkey because there was a lot of contracts on the table, but I was weighing up the best option. Then come back, try to regain some condition in the same time. Got injured And you know, a lot of stuff never really materialized. And I think Mr. Price was being fair in his assessment by saying that I need more time before he put me back into the fold. But I was just thinking that it's me, so you shouldn't care about the condition, just play me, which he didn't allow that. You know, which in the long run you realize that he was right. But I left and went to Arnett, start a new journey, which I think I have had the most success locally.
Mm.
We won 2 Premier League, won the Jackie Bell. I've always been in the playoffs, and you know, it was a joy. But I think my biggest window is moving to Umberlion in 2018-19 season, 2018 season to be exact. I didn't win any trophy, but they was the first club who see that we could have been doing what we're doing now.
Yeah.
So after Mr. Bailey, which is Admiral, left, they asked me if I could carry the team to the end of the season. But what really happened with that, I was always talking in training. I was always telling that, listen, there's a lot of talent here, but then there is something that is confusing, you know? So they must stick to the things that needs to bring success. And they were like, yo, you know, say talk more than how the coach supposed to talk. And so, you know? So after a time, there was like, take the coaching job. So I was to them like, listen, not because you think I am the person who's supposed to be leading the team, mean that there will be any space for any misconduct. And Q Owen was the first person who said, Big One, you must be the coach. And the first man we take over the section, I'm first, me send home.
Listen, the man geared the vote to be the coach, and then the man geared the opportunity to send him up first.
Him first because him company feel like cup soup.
Yeah.
And we start early. I understand that there's early. Sometimes people don't get a chance to have some tea. But I would rather you tell me, say, coach, we get 2 minutes.
Yes.
So you must be able to set the tone as to the standard as to how you want things to be done.
Yes.
And I think after that, there's a lot of people. People have seen potential that we would transition from football into coaching. But I've get the opportunity at Umberlion, and I've never turned back since. But I have completed the level 1 at the time before I joined Umberlion.
Okay.
While I was at Arnett, I was completing those coaching exams.
Nice, man. Nice.
So I had complete the advanced level 1 and also coaching in competency from the Delaware State University at the time at Arnett Guard.
Nice.
So I was preparing to make that transition. Then after that, I completed UFAC, now completed the UEFA B license. So it has been a win in different areas. So sometimes not because it doesn't get the silverware, it means that you lose, you know? So I have to always have that spot for Umberlion where the opportunity came. A lot of people thought it would have been on it, but it never happened. And sometimes you just have to move elsewhere to create a name for yourself. And I am on that path to just give back, not to just the clubs that you're involved in, but Jamaica itself, because we want to see Jamaica at our very best. And I think if all the clubs have the same intentions of producing the best we possibly can, then it will be an easy transition for the country to really go back to the level where we expect the football should be played in the country.
Yeah, man. Wonderful. Coach, listen, we could have talked to you for the whole day. Right? And listen, you keep saying we, and I want the listeners to understand, because you have with you at Chapelton a man called Jermaine Teddy Johnson. He's one of your assistants, isn't that so?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. How is that? You're talking about Jermaine Johnson is one of those super talented Jamaican footballers. I mean, he had a little time at Tivoli Gardens. How Jermaine Johnson end up at Chapelton Maroons?
We have a history in terms of close friendship. Jermaine Johnson, Damian Stewart, a lot of us. So after they call you and done the interview about the job. I have been there for like a week or two, and then you have a lady which works with us, the assistant manager. She said to me that I have never seen one person control so much men at once. You know, and I explained to her the things that you need to be done to get people to respond in a positive way. So one day I came when I said, you know, I'm telling you really I don't know football, but you have done so much on the international stage and locally. If you can replicate that into coaching, it would be very effective.
Yes.
For our football local.
Yeah.
So I called him one day and I said, what are you doing? He said, no. I said, listen, this is where I got him. This is where I do. I didn't give him a chance to even negotiate. I just make him know this is what we're going to do. I'm saying to me, say, no, somebody give up. Me say, you can't give up for yourself. You're gone already. You can't change that. You have too much to contribute to football locally, and that is what you're going to do. And we just tell him, listen, we start training 7 o'clock, I'll pick you up 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. And 4:45, him call me. And we start, and from the start, there's no looking back. You know, and this is what it is.
Amazing. So I want the people to understand that when you get opportunities, you're not just getting opportunities for yourself. Sometimes your opportunity is a chance to create an opportunity for our next brethren, somebody else, to open doors. You're now working with young people, coaching young talent, and giving them an opportunity to perhaps go even further than you have gone, coach. But to know that you would have given an opportunity to a former national player to be a part of what you're doing at Chapelton Maroons in the coaching setup, that's just an amazing story. And I hope that the coaching staff down there, you guys will be able to achieve great success this season. The team got relegated the last time they were in the Premier League. You're back up now. Tell us a little bit about, you know, what the plans are. What are the goals? What are the immediate goals? It's a long season. So what are the plans?
It's a very long season. And first you have to create a mindset around the club that people must understand that they have values. I mean, loud doesn't mean that you are strong, and silent doesn't mean that you are weak, you know? So we would work in silence and approach the season on a weekly basis, and then we will do our monthly assessment, and we will continue to try and play our best football we possibly can. And obviously push up the table. I mean, if you create a mindset of just avoiding being relegated again, you wouldn't be able to get them to be playing at the level that they should. So you must be able to tell people that, listen, we prepare ourselves on a weekly basis to win games. You're not going to win all, but if you prepare yourself, it means that you're going to fight to the end for all of the games. So what we want to do as a club is approach these games on a weekly basis, not to overload their mind mentally where they start to think about 10 games. We want to think about it step by step, and I think one is out of the way, and we are now preparing for the next one. And for sure, we'll be extremely competitive. I can tell you that because that's a nature that we create. You have to allow them to believe that they can do things that people don't think they can. And I think the start that they have create a more relaxing.
Seems like we have lost Coach Thompson there, unfortunately. Wow. I mean, just as he was getting into telling us a little bit more.
Meat of the matter.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we can try and get him back, but Chapelton Maroons, a team to look forward to seeing more of their game between them and Arnett Gardens that was supposed to be played this weekend had to be postponed because Arnett Gardens is currently playing in the Caribbean Championship competition. Arnett was away. I think they lost their game by a 0-0 to Police FC from Trinidad and Tobago. So they probably will be playing another game. So they won't be playing that game. But I am excited about what's going on at Chapelton, Mr. Pino.
I am excited as well, and so too is Bigger Thompson.
Yes.
First game of the season, beating
Harborview
by 2. A 5-time championship team, 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, Harborview has their own, changes that have taken place. They have a change in coaching as well. So it's a new coach. who's at the helm of the Harbour View. I mean, they passed upon Sean Fraser. They didn't go in that direction. They went in a different direction. And so let's see if the coach will be able to survive the season at Harbour View. But it's quite an interesting thing. We have former national players who are coming through as coaches. He said he has gone as far as his UEFA B license. That's exciting to hear. I've been of the view that if we qualify more coaches, if we invest in improving the quality of coaches that we have, then that will invariably lead to improved technical abilities among our players, because the coaches will be able to create the enabling environment with all the things that they would have learned for the players to succeed,
Yeah, when you talk about the coaches, as a player, you want good coaches, excellent coaches that can give you information, provide you with what you need on the field of play. But when you look at a player has to do what he has to do. Coach only can pass information. So a player must know what he is for and perform his duty on the field of play.
I agree. I mean, but let's understand. So when I was a youngster coming up and playing football, this is what coaching was. You run 10 laps, and then you do few short sprint. Then you play a half side game. Mean,
Scrimmage.
Part the scrimmage, and you open up to a big field, and that was the training session.
Yeah.
Today, when you think about a training session, training sessions are better planned. You don't have to have the players running 10 laps, right? You understand that short sprints and involving and including the ball in most of the activities is important, right? You realize that in the game itself, you have to break the game down into small parts. If you want to focus more on finishing, you bring the goals closer together so that the players have this instinctive desire to kick to goal, right? Shorten the game to facilitate that. You break things down into segments and stuff. Back in the day, that wasn't part of coaching.
Not at all.
Right? So the more coaches get exposed to even the use of technology,
that's where it lies as well. The technology gives coach more ideas, more strategies to implement in training sessions.
definitely. So if we can improve on that, then I think we will see much more improvement in the way our players demonstrate their skills and the opportunities that they will get to apply their trade. Let me remind the listeners that you can call in on 876-676-6968, 876-676-6968, or send us a WhatsApp message on 876-828-0925. We really would love to hear from you. So please don't hesitate to reach out and make us know your thoughts. Yeah, so tomorrow, big game. Manchester City versus Arsenal in the English Premier League.
Big game.
Mighty God.
I would want to say a huge game based on the context of the competition so far.
Yeah. Listen, Erling Haaland has started this season on fire. Okay? The man is a goal scoring machine. Now, Arsenal has had one of the better defenses of the top teams. Strong defense. They've built a very strong defensive unit. They have some strength in their midfield as well, I believe. Outside of their attacking players, the Sakas and so on. I'm looking forward tomorrow to see how Arsenal nullifies the Haaland trade, because he has been banging in the goals left, right, and center. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm not a City fan, but I'm a football fan.
And I am actually.
Right? So I really want to see football on display tomorrow. I want to see great football. I want to see exciting football. I don't know. I think this season, this is an early kind of perhaps demonstration of what we are to expect from an Arsenal when they go up against the quote unquote big teams. Because, I think last season Arsenal did very well against the big teams. So I'm hoping to see what they will be able to do this season against the big teams as they push to try and win the championship, because it's going to be important. They don't have to beat the big teams, to win, to win.
If
the
not
English.
draw.
They don't have to beat them, but it would be good to see them actually, toppling on Manchester City tomorrow and going on to do some big things. I think Arsenal are due. I'm not saying that they're going to win the league, but who's your team in the English Premier League?
Liverpool, of course.
Yeah, you're Liverpool. I mean, you have had some good years in recent times. Your coach has moved on. You have a new coach leading the charge. What's your thoughts on the transition that is taking place?
Well, of course, you have to set yourself to move on in life. And as a coach, you make your name, then he's transferring into something else. And a new coach, a lot is expected of him, though.
Really, you think a lot is expected, or people are thinking that okay, it's a transition year. You know, maybe some fans have not set their expectations too high, given that Klopp is no longer there, and some of the players probably are not at their best, like a Mo Salah. We know who Mo Salah is. We know how dangerous he is.
That's my player.
But he's a year older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And probably this is his last season too in a Liverpool shirt as well. But you really think if Liverpool does not finish in the top four, for argument's sake, you think the coach would be under pressure?
Not necessarily, but it all boils down to a new coach still putting in the work and getting good results.
Well, Mr. Arne Slot, he has left Feyenoord. He has come over. He has joined Liverpool. I see Liverpool, having a very good result today. They won 3-0. Luis Diaz, the Colombian, with a 26th minute and a 28 minutes, 2 goals in that game, and then another South American, Mr. Darwin Núñez, the Uruguayan, in the 37th minute. Earlier in the piece, we were speaking about the issue with Ver United, and I was making fun really in calling them Jamaica. The truth is they use the Jamaica Sports Complex. There has been an issue about their name and the change of name, because they were Ver United, and then we heard that they were going to be Ver Phoenix.
Ver Phoenix.
But apparently the JFF
didn't sign off on it. I think.
I don't know. I don't know how that works out. And I don't know. Whenever Craig Butler is involved, whether innocent or guilty, right? It just seems like his presence in anything soaks up most of the energy and the attention, as opposed to the thing itself. So instead of people talking about the play of Very United,
about the coach.
We're talking about Craig Butler. We're talking about the change of name.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the Jose Mourinho era, at Chelsea Football Club. At least his second stint at Chelsea Football Club, where it was lots more about Jose Mourinho and the personality than it was about the football being played. What's your take on the Craig Butler? Just the persona, Craig Butler, the persona. What's your take on it?
Well, it's a question that as you mentioned, just the name of the person. It's on a pressure situation once he's in that capacity. So just the name itself really shook everybody to an extent.
I mean, I think Craig is good for the sport. I think he's good for football in general. I mean, there's a place for somebody like Craig. You if you can get past the personality and just focus on what he brings to football, I think the relationship between Ver and Phoenix is something that the administrators of football should be excited about. You shouldn't want to create issues around it. If you can strengthen a local club with an academy, linking them to an academy and having a partner, that is something to be
That would be a plus.
That can't be bad for football, man. That can't be bad for football. So I'm hoping that they the issue will resolve itself, whatever the issue is, that it will resolve itself, and that we'll be able to, see some good football coming out of the Veer Phoenix relationship. I definitely believe that our Premier League is going in the right direction.
It is definitely going in the right direction based on the quality players we see merging into the Jamaica Premier League, even from a Manning Cup and a Dacaster Cup. We only can get better here in Jamaica.
Definitely. In down in Montego Bay United as well, they have an Argentinian coach.
Wow, excellent.
I mean, like Montego Bay United has been known to kind of import coaches from South America in particular. They have an coach from Argentina, and as you said, they were quite impressive in their first outing against that Veer team. Looking forward to see them and see what else they have to offer. And then, of course, Cavaliers. I mean, we can't talk enough about Cavaliers and what Rudolph Speed has been doing with the youngsters down there.
Well, that is where credit must be given to him as well, getting the youngsters, building them, and winning titles as well. That's a plus.
Yeah, definitely. I'm impressed. There are some mornings when I'm actually taking my son to school and I'm passing by the Alpha Institute, which is where they train, and the players are out there training sometimes 7:30 in the morning. I gather that they have multiple training sessions. They're doing it the professional way. They're doing it the early morning and then in the afternoon or late evening and preparing. And I mean, I'm just impressed.
Yeah, I think they lost a few players as well.
Yes.
I think two of them gone to Mount Pleasant.
Okay. Interesting.
What a lot of transfer has done this year though.
Yeah, the market was very busy. Listen, I tell you this. Mount Pleasant as an academy, I would expect now after 3, 4, 5 years that they would be blooding some of that talent into their senior team. I think I still have a lot of question marks about this idea of you having an academy that is supposed to be building and exposing talent, and then you taking the best players from other teams to bring into your team. Like they had an entire starting 11, 8 of which was like transferees last year. I'm not sold on that.
Remember, I think the second year they came into Premier League, I think there was about 6 players from a Dumbo team in the Mount Pleasant team this following year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mr. Gold has the money. The kind of salaries that I hear coaches being paid in the JPL, these are the kind of salaries that, I mean, if you're getting paid that to do football, then I need to go and get my coaching license too. I mean, I need to get into coaching because that's some good money. And I'm happy that we're going in that direction. Right? And I'm happy that coaches are pursuing their qualifications, getting their licensing, because it's not just about coaching in Jamaica. It's about putting yourself in a position to coach.
Qualification.
Right. To coach anywhere in the world. And I believe, and I said it last time I was here, I'm going to say it again, I believe that the JFF needs to have some kind of MOU with other jurisdictions in CONCACAF, especially the United States of America, and perhaps even Mexico, where we can have some of our coaches go to our MLS, for example, and understudy a MLS coach, be a part of a system, a setup in the MLS, where they get the kind of exposure, or in Mexico, in their league in Mexico. And we have some coaches going and understudying for a year or so and getting that experience.
And bring it back to him.
And
exactly.
Some of them may not come back. Some of them may actually get jobs in these jurisdictions. Some of them would come back and probably in coming back, yes, we would benefit from that.
Yeah, knowledge will be passed on.
And I think the same thing applies across any sport, that our sporting administration should try and create relationships and partnerships with more developed countries in the sport, where coaches can go on learning exchanges, where coaches can get exposed to opportunities for internships, for example. And those things will naturally improve the quality that exists among our coaches.
Exactly. And that would be a plus in the country as well.
Of course.
Coaches going overseas, getting the maximum result, come back and issue the information.
Of
And
course.
coaches can learn as well.
Of course. It's a no-brainer. And I'd love to know why we're not going in that direction as a strategic priority for the development of the sport. A focus on coaching and coaching development, and not just putting the onus on the individual to qualify themselves. Yeah, people are going to invest in themselves, but we have to invest in people.
True. To get the best results.
Of course, we have to spend some of the resources to get the best results. I know that we're going to be going over to the Costa Cup game sometime soon. I think we have about 10 minutes before we will have to run out of here and give way to the Costa Cup game. So I'm going to invite persons again to call the show 876-676-6968 if you want to talk to us for a few, or you can send us a WhatsApp message at 876-828-0925. I am not seeing any WhatsApp messages, and I don't think we have any calls. We don't have any calls over there. No WhatsApp messages, no calls over there. Well, for those people who are excited about sports that I've spoken about, like the NFL, I'm just going to give you my picks for tomorrow, if you don't mind. You're a betting man?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Well, I'm a betting man no time. I'm just going to tell you what I think is going to happen in the NFL tomorrow. I think we have a call on the line, so I'll take the call right now. Good afternoon. Welcome to Omega Saturday Sports Radio.
Big up yourself, preacher.
Yeah, man. Well, go on, General.
There, man. All is well?
Yeah, man. We give thanks, man. We're going good. Me and Mr. Pinocchio hold it down, you know what I mean?
All right. So I've been hearing the conversation about the coaches, and you have the conversations going on, you have the discussions, and you have the debate. And then you have just general whole a reason and just talk about what do we want as a country as it pertains to development of football. Now, when I do my, you're hearing me clear, right?
Yes,
man. Yes, man.
By the way, for those who don't know, this is the Great Bull, you know. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So if you wonder which voice that the money are radio voice, you know, the money for in the studio beside of me, by the way. But anyway, go on, Joe Bull.
Yeah, man. So when I do my little research and I brought it up already, I said that the FIFA is doing their thing in which they are trying to get as many coaches being certified as possible. Now, when it comes on now to what is happening here on our local style, the Jamaican coaches.
Bull, I want you to hold the thought, because I want you to close out this start with us. We're going to run over to Cayman Spark and come back. Don't leave.
It's now time for live racing from Caymanas Park, sponsored by Azon, the superstore for your home and more. Edgechem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Victoria Mutual Money Transfer Services, real money transfer for real people. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
Welcome back to Caymanas Park. We're here for race number 5. Horses are loading. Your favorite at odds of 3 to 5 is number 5, Zulu War, even money number 2. Smart Trick, 6 to 1 for number 1, Play Fair, 7 to 1, number 3, First Offense, 11 to 1 for number 6, Rack Them. Late on, brother, was number 9, Pope's Lady. My choice, Zulu War, the favorite. This is Dr. Paula's Cook Food Special as well. Make it 5 to 1 and 3. My order of preference, Zulu War to get the better of Smart Trick, Play Fair, and First Offense. Just a couple of them left to go in. Just being a bit hesitant right now appears to be horse number 8, Chief Dissident. He now goes in. And that appears to complete the lineup. Well, not exactly. Maybe one more left to enter. And that horse is the favorite, Zulu War number 5. He now goes in. 4 to 5 for Zulu War, even money. Smart Trick. Play Fair. The last runner to enter at post 1. We have a lineup. Here's Brandrick Manodi.
Already and sends them off. Almost perfect start. Chief Dissident found a bit flat-footed and left at the back of the field. A smart trick leaves the 6 with that lead, opening up some 2 to 2.5 lengths. Zulu Warrior chasing with first offense. Playfair on the rail. First grandson racing out wide. 2 lengths in behind them to rack them. Don't Tell Lulu is next, and Chief Dissident now asked to get going and recover as they head toward the half mile and the turn for home. Smart Trick has stolen the march already and goes on by some 5 lengths over Zulu Warrior. First grandson on the outside. Playfair in the red cap down against the rail, hugging it and making some progress. A break back to Chief Dissident. First offense, 3 parts of a length in behind that one. 2.5 to Don't Tell Lulu, and Ratnam joining this year last. We're about to arrive at the 5/16th and the top of the lane. Smart Trick under a snug hold has that lead. Zulu Warrior now let loose for the charge. Playfair is stepping just off the rail as Smart Trick continues to show them his back end, arriving with 3/16 remaining, but Zulu Warrior now asked to get going on the outside, but Smart Trick continues to repel them. Here is Playfair kicking in between horses. Smart Trick now beginning to tie up on that lead. Playfair moving through on the outside, and now Playfair snatches it on the rear and Lewis. He has 299 wins in the bag. He's looking now for 300, and Playfair will give it to him. Ray Lewis reaches a milestone of 300. Smart Trick is second. Zulu Warrior third. First offense is fourth. Don't Tell Lulu is fifth.
So that's number 1, Playfair, getting the job done. A mile upset win. Ray and Lewis in the stand for Anthony Baba Nunes, and that's a 1-2 for Baba Nunes, with the outsider Playfair getting the better of the much better fancied Smart Trick. Third goes to the favorite Zulu Warrior. Fourth, First Offense. And fifth for the high 5, Don't Tell Lulu. Results of race number 4, the winner number 3, Sir Wang Don. Sir Wang Don is a 4-year-old chestnut caught by hedge fund of the Stormcraft Dam, Empress Cheyenne, Red Suitcase Racing Stable, owner train Alfred Brown, ridden Shane Richardson, the groom Vincent Bennett. Sir Wang Don returned, 364 to win, 178 to place. Second went to number 4, Money Box, 158. Third, number 1, Casual Treasure, 582. Fourth, number 5, Waterman John. The exact returned 888, trifecta 3,068, double 1,328, the triple 2,431. Final time 1 minute 30 and a fifth of a second, splits 24, 143, 163, and the margins were a resounding 12.5 by a neck. Final prices in the 5th event: number 1, Playfair the winner, 6-1, runner-up Smart Trick, even money. Then came Zulu Warrior at 4-5, First Offense 7-1. Don't Tell Lulu completes your high 5 at 21-1. Next event will be the 6th. 10 declared to go postward. Field is only been condition race, 5.5 furlongs the distance. My tip is number 10, La Vida. Dr. Paul at number 7, Chinita Estrella. Until it's time for the 6th, it's back to the studios.
Live racing from Caymanas Park was sponsored by Azon, the superstore for your home and more. Edgechem, changing lives 1 gallon at a time. Victoria Mutual Money Transfer Services, real money transfer for real people. And Spectrum Insurance Brokers, setting the industry standard.
Paul, I need help with my vehicle cost this year. It's going through the roof. You think I should call Keith?
You're mad. Don't you want a system that easy for you?
Yeah, man.
You want the best price boat here too?
Yeah, man. I bet you want real-time alert and island-wide coverage. Yeah, man. So the smart choice is Hawkeye.
They will give you a free 30-day trial.
Yeah, man.
Hey, tell me something. You ever say anything but yeah, man?
Yeah, man.
Just say, yeah, man, to Hawk Tracker from Hawkeye. Call us at 926 Hawk. Conditions apply.
Drive your dream car when you access a Dream Wheels auto loan from the Manchester Cooperative Credit Union. With amazing rates, 100% financing, up to 10 years to repay, and quick approval time, your auto loan is just a phone call away. Conditions apply. Call us at 962-0401 or 964-3648 or visit our offices in Mandeville and Christiana for further details. Manchester Cooperative Credit Union, where service exceeds expectation.
Give a little something. US $1 JD 150 every time you receive a remittance from Lasco Money Transfer to sponsor a social project selected by the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Say, I want to donate $1 to the cashier. Donations accepted at these locations: 38.5 Red Hills Road, Kingston 10, 15 Chandos Place, Poppin Square, Kingston 10, and Shop 203 Bay West Shopping Center, 3 St. James Street, Montego Bay.
Welcome back to Omega Saturday Sports Show. We have Bull on the line. We're not going to waste any time. He's been holding for a while. Yeah, Bull, you were talking about the coaching and the development of coaches.
Yeah, so the certification is one of the ways in which they're looking to get more developed coaches, right? So I don't see why anyone should have a problem with that, or if it does affect somebody, then the simple task for that person to do is to try and get whatever certification he needs. And it's not only affecting who the persons are basically highlighting, and which is Lenny Hyde. It's affecting coaches that just won the major league. So, for instance, now, I don't know if you know Spanish Town Police. They won the major league in St. Catherine.
Yeah.
And they did well in the tier 2 qualification and qualified to play the tier 2.
Right.
However, the coach that was coaching them does not have the required certification to coach at the tier 2 level. They know they had to hire an next coach.
Yeah, but all right, well, look at it. If the certification is what you need to coach at a particular level, right? But prior to the certification, you have demonstrated the ability to coach at that level effectively. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't there be some kind of fast tracking of that certification process for somebody like you, or some kind of middle ground?
I hear that point, and of course I understand that point, right? So we hear that point and we understand that point. However, we must understand that this is a CONCACAF license. It's not JFF trying to do the thing. Now, what we need to try to understand is if it's a case where JFF tried to fast track them. You get where I'm coming from?
I get you.
Is it a case where maybe some of these persons did not do the D license, did not do the C license, but when it reaches to the B part of it, they can probably fast track them, give them a B, give them a C license. But when it reaches to know the B license, that's where the issue comes in.
That's a good point.
To do it at the top level.
That's a very good.
So it's not a Jamaica coaching license.
Yeah.
Right. So we understand that maybe CONCACAF does not consider Jamaica Premier League whenever the coach was coaching it at a particular standard to say yes, you deserve a B license because you did well in your whatever league.
That's a good.
So
point.
are we saying then that a coach in St. Kitts, we don't know how strong the St. Kitts league is? If you have a coach in St. Kitts who won the league 10 years straight, and CONCACAF is saying, listen, to get to a particular level, you must have this particular standard. All the coaches in your league supposed to have, in your top league, supposed to have this standard. That doesn't mean the guy can do whatever they want to do. But when you look at it, future. If, say, for example, if you're Phoenix won the Premier League and qualify for the Caribbean Cup, can these coaches coach in the Caribbean Cup?
No, they would require no, which is what I'm saying. I mean, it's a very good point that you're making, and we can't just be myopic and think about it from a Jamaican perspective. We have to think about it more broadly than that. So, the important thing, in my view, is if a coach was coaching in the Premier League last year, and they won the Premier League and they didn't have the requisite license, and we knew that this year we're going to be implementing, or we're going to be enforcing, a CONCACAF standard, I think a part of what the organizers needed to do was to communicate that effectively and put something in place that would allow for persons to be able to meet the requisite standard. In the absence of that, you pretty much are now requiring me to have something that I didn't have, even though you allowed me to coach in the league, and there was no opportunity for me to move from where I am to where I need to be to participate in coaching this year.
But based on what I'm hearing, I hear that this communication was everyone was told.
Okay, well,
and coaches were in the program.
If that's the case, then I'm on
so
you
had coaches in the program and coaches who are currently in the program.
Okay.
For example, I think that in FA, all right, I think that FA actually was doing a thing with, I think it was Ryan Neville and the Ministry of Development, Social Development, and they said that you pay $5,000 and you get to do the D license.
Yeah, man, I remember that.
Yeah, so now my club, as everyone's supposed to, who listen to radio more, I am a club manager. Now, unfortunately, when this was being done, all my coaches at my club did not have the time to do it. So this year, when they say, listen, you have to have the license to do it, we can't ball. You understand? We can try. But in all fairness, we can't ball because the opportunity was there, and I get to understand that this was done island wide. You understand where a lot of these courses were offered for you to get the certification. Some coaches cities fail it, some coaches stop as I hear, and some at the beginning of it there were 40 coaches, and now there's 28 or 16 or something like that. So
you're always going to have some level of attrition. But let me ask you a question. What's going to happen with the Bear Phoenix situation now? Given what we know is happening.
Right.
What's going
Right. So we have to understand something now. This is not new. We have seen it on the European level. Whatever they're budgeting at Bear Phoenix, they just need to budget out the JFF, whatever charges that they're going to levy on them per game. After the club rent, they did that. They had a coach who was certified in France. He was coaching, not certified, and they charged 30,000 euro every match. So at this point in time, Bear Phoenix have two options. Either they're going to find a coach that has the particular qualifications, or you're going to pay for your coach that you have now to do the qualification and also pay the charges. That's
what's the fine? What's the fine?
The fine, I think the fine is what? 300. These are 300 US or 500 US. Roughly about 30,000 Jamaican dollars.
Okay.
Each game. So you just multiply that by 39.
All right. So is it a case that neither Craig Butler or Lenny Hyde has the requisite?
None of them have the requisite. They also have the option of going to the game and keeping their mouth shut, which Mr. Butler.
Yeah, man. He may find that very difficult to achieve. This is an interesting development.
Because racing, I think Patrick doesn't have it. Patrick Satan didn't say anything. That's what I was told, that he was there, not giving any instruction or anything. But that makes no sense though, because when you look at it, when you write up a match card, you have to put the coach's name there. When the coach is making changes, who makes these changes on that piece of paper?
Mm-hmm.
Who writes up that paper? Is it that coaching?
Mm-hmm.
So it really makes no. It really makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing is that because of the controversial nature of Mr. Butler and because of his previous run-ins with the JFF, that sometimes gets conflated with the current issue, which is an issue that could affect any team who does not have a coach who has the requisite.
And again, it's not only affecting Butler, it's affecting persons who are in tier 2.
Yeah, right. But
any JFF competition, you're being affected. So it's not a Craig Butler thing.
Exactly.
One of the things I think they could do though, seeing that it's affecting so many teams in the Premier League, because I hear that a lot of coaches in the Premier League have to just sit on the bench and not say anything.
Oh.
The time probably need to push it back by a year, do some form of discussion, and push it back by a year, and then next year, you stand on what you're saying.
I think that would have been reasonable.
Push it back by a year, maybe, but that depends again on the communication, because if they told them last year that, listen, at the start of 24-25 season, we are going to need licensed coaches at a particular level, and they did not get their license. Then you can't tell the JFF.
They're not going to do that. But I'm gonna kind of lay hands on you suddenly, because I know that you are one of those persons who follow schoolboy football very closely. Your alma mater, St. Catherine High School, is going up against St. George's College today in a top of the table clash. How you see that game playing out?
That's the game I'm on my way to right now.
Yeah.
Even though it's Polish Town or Olaba Road, I'm just third in a place called Valdez Road to go to that game. I'm hoping to see a very good game. I saw some pictures of the surface, so it's not. It's my school, St. Catherine, I want to seriously be one of those top schools in the competition where our homegrown is being used to play games, and we have to look at our surface. I don't think it's the best.
I think it wants to refurbish.
It wants some refurbishing and stuff like that. We used to play over at Bazava. Nice lush grass over Bazava. One of the best venues in Major League. they catching. But the game itself, it should be a good game. I think the field will benefit St. Catherine mostly. Well, the home field should benefit you because they're the one playing.
At home. Home advantage.
At home. But, home advantage. But I think George is with the style of play that I'm expecting from George. I haven't seen them all season.
Okay.
You know, the coach, he wants to put down the ball and knock it around. And this is not the surface. They can put it down and knock it around. So it should be a good game. It should be a tough game. But I think St. Catherine has more quality when I think about it and hear the kind of players who Georges have. They have a few, not a few, but a good amount of quality players. But the St. Catherine team, for me, should be one of the teams we need to look out for in the Money Cup because they have teams that you see racing play. It's basically a carbon copy of how you see racing play. Same coach, a lot of the players that play for St. Catherine actually played in Tier 2 for racing. So they have that big man ball game.
Is it you call that the Anthony Patrick effect?
Yeah, the Anthony Patrick effect, and also I make it know. I said this already. I'm gonna say it again. I think St. Catherine have the best center forward in schoolboy football. That's how highly.
What's the name? What's the name of that youngster?
Dwight Gentles.
Dwight Gentles. I mean,
yes, he scored 18 goals last season.
Okay.
In Money Cup at a 16-year-old. I think he has broken the record in under 20 St. Catherine under 20 league. That's the St. Catherine under 20 league.
Interesting.
I think he has scored over 30 goals in the league, including 18-man game. It's very good at finding the back of the net from any range. Technically, also a lot of work to do technically, but he's a very, very good center forward. And also, I think St. Catherine might also have one of the best wingers in the competition, and that is Kevin Gray, former KC player. He left KC when a lot of players were leaving KC last year. He left and he came to St. Catherine, and he had to sit out a year because of the quota, but he's here now.
Okay.
And they call him Samba.
Okay.
So it should be a very good game. I'm hoping for a very good game. I have to move on a lot of things to get the time to come and watch this game. So.
Well, sir, I hope for the sake of your alma mater and their fans that you will come out on the winning side. You've played 2 games and won both, scoring 7 goals, not conceding any. But George is
the first game. The C wasn't marked. So we're a team now that school fear.
So them just give 3 points.
Going into that first game, the school did not mark the game.
So 3 points.
3 points and 3 goals.
3 points. And yet when they go against the other teams, they mark field and not net in the goal.
Okay then. Well, maybe that's why George is scoring 19 goals and you only score 7.
Yes, man. That is why. And this is my issue with things like that now. Because I think in the second round, they go seeded.
Yeah.
So even though we might be ahead of Georges, because I think we're going to tap the zone. Even though we might tap the zone, and look at across the league now, the other teams that are tapping the zone, they're hitting teams for a lot.
Yeah, man.
So well, this year we hit a team for 20. I think it was last year or the year before. We hit a team for 24 or 20 something. I mean, and that team decided they want to come up.
If you beat me 20, if you beat me 24-0 last year, I'm at the field this year. Me take a 3 love. Stop the foolishness.
Save the embarrassment.
Stop the foolishness.
I don't think it's the same team though.
Okay.
We do have enough over the past 3 years to hit teams for a lot. To be honest.
Well, exciting game ahead, Mr. Pinnock. Who you have winning this one?
St. Catherine. Dwight Gentles.
Yeah.
Top scorer, center forward.
Yeah.
He's the man in charge based on what he's saying.
Yeah.
Goal scorer.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes this afternoon.
Feel him go banging into in a George's net. George's have a little baller named Larman, a good little youth play attacking midfield.
Yeah, he's the one in the attacking midfield.
Yeah, man. Very good, very talented.
That is very good, very technical on the ball, very good on the ball. You expect that from George's players. I don't think there's ever a season when George's don't have a really good midfielder. That's based on how they develop the players there.
Yeah, that's the Never Bell. That's a Never Bell.
Never Bertis Bell, man.
Yeah, it's Bertis
philosophy. You have to be able to put down the ball.
Knocking off the football. That was George's masters well.
Yep. Well, I must say that the Manning Cup is shaping up nicely. I mean, the regulars are showing themselves. Kingston College, they have a big game coming up today as well against Campion, top of the table clash. And of course, Mona will be playing against Charlie Smith. That is going to be a rugged game. Charlie Smith is going to make it difficult for them to play.
Yeah, but in that zone though, I think persons are looking past Jonathan Grant. I saw the game against Mona. Even though Mona got the record, Jonathan Grant really showed that if anybody wants to play against Mona, that's the way you play against them in terms of being very, very tight defensively and springing on the counter attack. And a matter of fact, I am very familiar with the players that Jonathan Grant had because of certain things. A lot of them, probably 7 of the starting players, weren't playing for Jonathan Grant.
Okay.
So, and they are winning their games and they are doing what they're doing. So
yeah.
I have to give some credit to my friend Clemmy Wolf over there.
Okay.
Clemmy Wolf.
Yeah. He was with Heidel. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the Heidel Wolf brothers. Yeah.
So that means
no man. I think.
No, he was at Jonathan Grant. Yeah, he was at Jonathan Grant. You're right.
Yeah, man, he's a former Grant Tobo. I think he has a record over there for amount of goals scored now in a season.
Okay.
25.
Well, Jonathan Grant, I will take a deeper look at them. They're on 6 points.
Yeah, man, it's one of those teams.
Games.
One of those teams that if you're not careful.
6 players, normal players who have been starting,
teams, man,
not playing. Wow. Big team, Jonathan Grant. We look forward to them.
Yeah, we look out for them, Bull. And Bull, we definitely will have you back as the Manning Cup season picks up because we really want to break down the analysis going into the second phase of the Manning Cup. My school, Wolmer's boys, is actually doing well with a lot of youngsters. We have a lot of under 16, under 50, under 16 players, youngsters. Jerome Waite has been actually getting them to play some very good football.
I saw them for a bit on YouTube. I was watching a game against them on San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was surprising after that it was mainly under 16 players they were using.
Yep. Wolmer's has a history of doing well in the under 16 competition and having a lot of talented players. We just don't usually get to the level of actually winning. We had a nice run, got into the Manning Cup finals and get into the Champions Cup finals, winning the Champions Cup as well. But just getting over that hump. We haven't won the Manning Cup since 1993. The breeze is picking up where you are, Bull. I think you are in a very windy area. We're going to run, though. So thanks for the call. Appreciate it always. There's always a space here for you on the Saturday Sports Show. Bless up yourself and all the best to the St. Catherine High School team.
Our carpet tiles provide a great solution for your carpet needs. A variety of sizes, styles, and colors allow you to customize your design to suit any home and office. They are stain and mold resistant, and their durability makes carpet tiles the preferred choice. This of contractors, developers, corporate bodies, and hoteliers. High traffic entities like BPO and service providers utilize our tiles. Call the carpet store at 18 Dumbarton Avenue, 876